New York Fashion Week 2026 just ended, and the internet has not fully processed what happened. A guy who beats his own face with a hammer, connected to actual Nazi groups, walked a major New York Fashion Week runway. The New York Times, Forbes, and Vogue all had to respond. Rihanna had a wardrobe malfunction, on camera, walking into her boyfriend's show. Blackpink's Jennie trended in 6 countries before she even sat down. A comedian accidentally became the most talked about person of the entire week. And one designer made critics call his show, quote, his best collection in 20 years. I've watched every show, every viral TikTok, every reel, every hot take, and this video covers all of it. Watch for the full story behind that runway moment. The fashion industry does not want discussed, so don't go anywhere. This is New York Fashion Week 2026. Let's get into it. But before we get into all the chaos, and trust me, there was plenty, you need to understand why this week was already historic before a single model stepped on a runway, February 9th through 16th. 60-plus shows. And 3 things happened at this NYFW that had never happened before. 1. A black woman became creative director of one of fashion's most prestigious houses for the first time, ever. 2. A denim brand that's been around for decades finally did their first runway show in 2026. 3. And this one is huge. This was the very last season that designers were legally allowed to use real fur on a New York Fashion Week runway. Starting this September, fur is banned. Forever. Vogue called this week, quote, New York fashion wrestling with reality. Designers ditched the fantasy. No more clothes nobody can actually wear. This season was real. And retailers, they were thrilled, calling it one of the strongest commercial seasons in years. Now you understand the stakes. Let's get into the shows. Okay, 6 shows, let's go. Marc Jacobs, Memory Loss. Park Avenue Armory, Silk Slips, Björk Playing, critics literally crying, calling it his best collection in 20 years. The 1993 Perry Ellis show that got him fired finally came full circle, and it was opened by the first transgender model of the year, Ralph Lauren. Earthy, moody, mushroom tones and shroud capes, front row, Anne Hathaway, Ariana DeBose, Lily Reinhart, and Lana Del Rey with her new husband. She trended worldwide in a trench coat. Tory Burch. Harper's Bazaar called it the best show of the week, inspired by a woman who redesigned the White House Rose Garden. Fish brooches, bunny knots on every bag. Pamela Anderson debuted a brand new look, and critics called it, quote, dressing by instinct, not rules. Coach, Teenage Wasteland, grunge, varsity jackets, prom dresses gone dark. The fashion editor in the front row went more viral than the models. Michael Kors, 45 years, Metropolitan Opera House. Christy Turlington, his very first campaign model, closed the show. Uma Thurman's suit, best celebrity look of the week. Carolina Herrera, Wes Gordon collaborated with 3 real artists and put their work directly onto the clothes. 6 shows, 6 different worlds, and we haven't even gotten to the moments that broke the internet yet. Let's talk about what actually took over everyone's For You page this week. Summer Dirks at 7 for All Mankind. Her walk was so intentionally messy, so 2000s it girl, that TikTok lost its mind. Comments flooded in, we don't see this often. Bring the 2000s back. Vogue literally named it the Messy Hot Girl Walk. It hit millions of combined views in 48 hours. Blackpink's Jennie at Calvin Klein trended in 6 countries before she sat down. Calvin Klein became the #1 brand in social engagement at all of New York Fashion Week, and Reddit was simultaneously debating whether their shorts looked like, and I quote, astronaut diapers. Cult Gaia's first ever New York Fashion Week runway, Instagram reels blowing up with people saying, I can't stop watching this. Ella Emhoff posted a DIY cutout tank top video ahead of New York Fashion Week and went viral for making her own runway look at home. And Katie, Post Malone, and Aubrey Plaza front row, with TikTok calling it the show that makes every girl feel like the coolest version of herself. 5 viral moments, 1 Fashion Week. Which one hit your feed first? Let's talk about the front rows, because this week, the seats were just as iconic as the runways. Marc Jacobs, Sofia Coppola, Anna Wintour, Julia Fox, Nikki Hilton, Ralph Lauren, Anne Hathaway, Lana Del Rey with her new husband, Ariana DeBose, Lily Reinhart, Tory Burch, Pamela Anderson's new look, Amanda Seyfried, Tessa Thompson, Olympic gold medalist Sunisa Lee, Coach, Ella Fanning, Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things, Omar Apollo, Michael Kors, Uma Thurman in a tailored suit that fashion media called one of the best celebrity looks of the entire week, Calvin Klein, Jennie from Blackpink, Dakota Johnson, Lily Collins, Alexa Chung, Christian Siriano, Leslie Jones, Whoopi Goldberg, Natasha Lyonne, Monica, Uzo Aduba, a WGE, Rihanna, Julia Fox right next to each other, Katie, Post Malone, and Aubrey Plaza. Together, nobody saw that coming. Anna Sui, Debbie Harry, and Marc Jacobs sitting side by side, fashion royalty in one row, Carolina Herrera, Lauryn Hill, in a look described as, quote, the kind of ensemble that signals confidence and timeless taste. And Julia Fox, she was at 5 different shows this week. 5. Undisputed MVP of the entire front row. Who wore it best? Drop their name right now. I need a moment to talk about the 2 moments from this week that no screenwriter could have written. Christian Siriano, front row. Leslie Jones, seated between Monica and Uzo Aduba. The moment the first model hit the runway, Leslie stood up. Marry me right now. So hot. She feigned fainting. She did the chef's kiss. She recorded everything on her phone. Whoopi Goldberg, sitting right next to her, completely lost it. Natasha Lyonne and Julia Fox were crying, laughing. The whole front row turned into a comedy show. Then, Rocky's a WGE show. Valentine's Eve. Rihanna walks in. Black fur-trimmed leather jacket, black lace bra, footless tights, stilettos. The back slit of that jacket opened, wide. Paparazzi caught everything. She adjusted without missing a beat. When the press asked her about the show after, she said, I'm always proud of my man. My guy's creative and a genius. Icon behavior, start to finish. But those 2 moments, those were fun. What I'm about to show you next is not fun. The fashion industry has been silent about it. And that silence is the problem. Here's the one the fashion industry doesn't want to talk about. A guy named Braden Peters, goes by Clavicular online, walked the Elena Vella's runway at New York Fashion Week. Who is he? He's a 20-year-old looks-maxing influencer who beats his own face with a hammer, literally, believing his bones will heal back stronger. He injected himself with steroids and hormones until he became sterile. The New York Times ran a profile on him, days before he walked that runway. But here's where it gets darker. He's been photographed with Nick Fuentes, a known white nationalist. He was filmed singing a Kanye West song with Nazi-themed lyrics. And days before New York Fashion Week, he was arrested in Arizona. Charges were dropped fast. Nobody fully explained why. Elena Velas put him on her runway anyway. Her collection, dental restraints, facial bandages, restrictive corsets. She's attended the New York Young Gala. Critics called the whole move, quote, calculated rage bait designed to generate press. Forbes responded. Vogue responded. The NY Times responded. Forbes said, by centering him, Velas now bears the weight of his controversies. In reality, not just online. The real question is, why did fashion let this happen? Did Elena Velas make a massive mistake? Or is this just provocative art? Drop your unfiltered take below. Okay, we're coming up for air. Let's talk about what you're actually going to be wearing this fall, because the runways just told us everything. Number 1, bold shoulders. They are back and they are wide. Every major show. 2, Elizabethan ruffs. Yes, the giant collar. Yes, it's coming. 3, brooch maxing. One statement brooch pinned anywhere. It's the easiest runway trend you can do today. 4, everything is red. Crimson at literally every single show this week. 5, messy girl has officially replaced clean girl. Frizzy hair, disheveled Y2K energy. Coach and 7 for all mankind made it a movement. 6, burgundy leather. The coat, the pants, the bag, all burgundy. 7, pajama dressing. Sandy Leung sent bunny slippers down a runway, and they became the most saved item of the entire week. Beauty? Blue eyeshadow from brow to lid at Marc Jacobs. Deconstructed smudged lips at Prinza Scholar. Crimson lips everywhere on the streets. Bangs, every style, every texture. Officially the haircut of fall 2026. Street style? Leopard coat. Oversized bomber. Faux fur over denim. That's your formula. 7 trends. Which one are you actually wearing? Drop the number in the comments. I'm taking a real poll. 3 more things before we go. Fur is officially banned at NYFW starting September 2026, and designers responded by making this the most fur-heavy season in years. The farewell tour went hard. A designer opened her show with an AI model that turned into a real human mid-runway. The industry still can't decide if that's genius or terrifying, and Rachel Scott becoming the first Black woman to lead Prinza Scholar, historic. The fact it's still a first in 2026, that's the real headline. So here's what this week actually proved. Marc Jacobs reminded us fashion can make people cry. For beautiful reasons, Jennie and Rihanna proved celebrity attendance now outperforms the clothes in raw engagement. Messy girl is the era, clean girl is done. And the clavicular situation? That conversation is not over. NYFW 2026 was beautiful, chaotic, historic, and deeply uncomfortable, sometimes in the same show. Fashion isn't about clothes anymore. It's about who gets a platform. Which moment hit hardest for you? Drop it below. Smash that like. Subscribe to Loyal Luxury because London and Milan are next, and I've got you covered. See you there.